Welcome back to another TSP top-notch video, guys. This week we are going to be talking about the weekly review from the 19th of February through the 23rd of February. If you guys if you have questions or concerns, go ahead and write them in the comments below, but let's get right into it. So for this week, guys, investors and traders seem to be trying to figure things out. Just as we always are, but we just came off a major correction at the start of the year after a strong 17. Earnings have been good. Corporate tax rate has been very good. It's been very well. We have a strengthening economy, but it seems like that we have inflation concerns. So we just got to be careful of those with the higher bond yields. The market's been fed off cheap money for almost a decade, so it might not be the case going forward. So we just got to be careful with that and take that into account as we look into our allocations for the future. In a short-term technical analysis, what might be coming and having the week. So as always, we're going to go over our, we don't really go over our life cycle funds unless I see something specific that we need to look into. G fund is for defensives when stocks are not doing well. Stocks have been doing great on the long-term charts, so we are not in those. Of course, we have our C fund, which is our ETF IVV, so we'll move right into that, and that is the S&P 500. As you can see here, we are sitting at a critical level here between our 50-day and 20 and 50-day moving averages. A lot of decision making going on in this area. Not sure if we'll see this bounce, like I said earlier, of the lower low. Sometimes you'll see a W type action take place. If we just start to see some things jump down, we might jump out of this fund. But as of now, we could see higher highs or lower lows. It's kind of a question mark for this week. But as you can see, we were up for the week. Let's look at it on the charts. So for IVV on our weekly chart, for how we technically analyze the charts, this is a weekly stock chart of the IVV or the C fund. So as you can see, we are in the negative energy with our C fund, another negative week for the most part. So we had that really nasty week here, and then price action did do better here and here. Let's look at it on a 2-day perspective. So from a weekly perspective, we don't look good, but from our 2-day perspective, we are starting to see we're starting to see it come out of that nasty period here. We're starting to gain momentum here, guys. So that is a very positive thing. Now this could be a bounce, and we could see a fake out here with our positive energy, but since this nasty period here at the beginning of February, we've gained about almost half of our money back. If you missed the bounce, you are lucky, but if you stayed in the bounce, we got about half the money back as long as you did not get out of the market down here, which is important. Even on a 4-hour perspective or daily perspective, we're seeing positive action here, so this could be a good thing. A lot of indecision here, like on that as we're around that 50-day moving average. We're going to probably see some action this week of where that is going to go. But moving on to our other funds, let's get into the S fund. So with our S fund, we were looking at the same type of chart. A lot of action right around the 50-day and 20-day moving averages. A lot of indecision of where this should go. Like I said, this could go back down and test the lower low, or it could continue to rise. And we'll be watching this chart very, very closely. It's good to know that we made about half our money back from this massive drop here, and we did have a positive week. Let's look at it on the charts. So for the S fund or VXF ETF, this is the Dow Jones. From our weekly perspective, same type of chart. We got negative energy here, 2 positive weeks here, which is good, but not enough to turn around our negative energy. We're going to see if that might change this week. But looking on it from a 2-day perspective, we are almost out of negative energy on the VXF chart, which is a very positive sign. We've gained about almost a little less than half of what we lost. And we here on Top Notch channel did stay in the VXF fund or the S fund, Dow Jones, this entire time. We didn't pull any money out. That was important, as the long-term charts did look good. So we're going to be watching this very closely. If we start to see a fake out, we might pull some money out, but we'll go from there and see what happens. Even from a 4-hour perspective, if you look at the dividend oscillator, the DO, we were at 0.40 here, and the next one up we were 0.38, so that's a positive sign. But like I said, a lot of indecision in here, guys. We'll have to see what the market overall does. One good point that someone brought up this week was, how do you know what markets are going to do? We don't know. But these charts don't point to the future, they point to a probability. The markets are many people, whereas you are just one person. And the many people usually a group makes a much better decision of what the charts or what the market will do. And we base their decision off of these charts. That's how we make our decisions. So we're going to be moving on to our next chart, which is the S fund. I'm sorry, we already did the S fund. My bad. The I fund, or ETF EFA. Okay, so this is your international markets. Let's get right into that. So for our international markets, EFA, we did not make it to our 50-day and 20-day and 50-day moving averages. We're just a little bit below those. It did try to hit it here, and we did get a little bit of a bounce back from that. So that's important to note. We did not have a positive, we barely had, on this chart it says we had a good week with EFA, but based off of TSP we did not. We had a down week. I can show that to you again real quick. As you can see, we were down for the week right here. 0.44, almost a 0.5% down. So just keep that in mind if you have funds in this account. So EFA, ETF, or the I fund. Okay. So we're sitting right around that 50. If we can't puncture this, guys, like we did with those other two charts, that makes me a little more concerned and worried about these charts. Let's look at it on our moving charts here. From a weekly perspective, we are still down. As you can see, 3 negative weeks here, but as of the 2-day here, we are coming out just like our other charts. But I'm just a little bit more skeptical of this one than my other ones, so I would not be interested we have a decent buy signal here with positive energy, but just something to watch this week. I think we'll definitely get a very good decision signal by the end of this week. But just know that for EFA, positive signal here, our DO was 442, and now we're double, almost 0.81 for the DO here. So that's a good signal on our 4-hour chart. 2-hour chart looks good, and we're just waiting for our weekly now at this point. Weekly still doesn't look that great. Moving to one of our last stock funds today, we have the F fund, or AGG ETF. This is bonds for the most part. So far, bonds have not been doing very well this year and continue to not do that well this year. We are definitely still below our 20-day and 50-day and 200-day moving averages on this. They just keep moving this line lower and lower, so it's just not something I would invest in at this time. I wouldn't have any money in this fund. Just know that if you're in the life cycle funds, you are in AGG. A portion of your money is sitting in AGG, so just keep that in mind. Another not very good week for this fund. So let's just look at it on the charts. So here we have AGG on a weekly chart. A lot of negative energy here. We haven't had any positive energy from AGG since mid-October. So I'm sorry, September back here. So just keep that in mind. I don't know when we'll see a flip of this chart. On our 2-day, we did see some lower action here, so this is positive. This is a very good sign, but not enough to convince me to put money into this fund. It looks good here too, but I'm not interested in this fund at this time for this week. Would keep your money out of AGG for now. Other than that, that is our funds for the week. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let us know. We'll look at our allocation now. So we were in the S fund for the entire month of February. We did end up taking the hit for February, and that so when we take a hit, if the monthly and yearly charts still look good, we just kept our money where it was at in that S fund, and we're still hoping to make our money back from that fall. We're waiting to see if it's going to be a W effect or if charts are going to higher highs this week. Like I said, I really think we'll see a buy or sell signal for this week, and we're just going to be watching our charts real nice and close. If you guys have questions or concerns, go ahead and write them in the comments below. Really appreciate you guys tuning into this channel, watching week to week. That's another top-notch video. We'll see you guys next time.